Okay folks, today I'll be comparing two popular camera cages, the SmallRig cage and the Neewer cage for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Both are designed to protect your phone, give you extra mounting points for accessories, and just make filming easier in general. Now I've been using the SmallRig cage ever since it came out. However, there are certain things that can be improved, and in one of my previous videos I talked about some of the flaws it has. So I recently decided to try out the Neewer cage and see how it stacks up against the SmallRig cage. So what I will be doing is highlighting their similarities and differences to help you decide which fits your needs best. Now, full disclosure, this video isn't sponsored by either of these companies. However, Neewer did send me their cage to test and review, but they have no control over what I'm saying. So these are my honest thoughts from my experience using both these cages. Now, I do have affiliate links below, so if you purchase one of these cages through my links, I earn a small commission at no extra cost to you, which also helps support this channel. So with that said, let's dive right in. So let's first talk about the similarities. So this is the newer version of the Neewer cage. Get it? Neewer. Now, unlike the previous version, this one has a premium build quality just like the SmallRig cage. Now, both are the same size and made of aluminum alloy and weigh almost the same. The Neewer cage is 112 grams and the SmallRig cage is 116 grams. And by the way, this is a special edition co-designed by Brandon Lee, which comes with his signature over here. However, SmallRig's standard cage, which comes in black, has all the same features and is also available for the iPhone 15 Pro. Now, looking at both of these cages side by side, they are designed fairly similar. So you have 3 1/4 screw holes at the top and at the bottom. Both also have a cold shoe mount at the top, which is handy for mounting different accessories. Now, also the buttons and ports and speakers are easy accessible on both. Plus, because of their hollow back, they are compatible with MagSafe wireless charging. Now, both also have a nice silicone insert inside, which makes it easy to slide in your phone and also protects it from shock when it falls to the ground. Also, you can see both have a wrist strap, which is nice if you record handheld and want the extra security. Now, I like that both cages offer various backplates to support external lenses like the M-mount, 17 and 37 millimeter threaded lens, and T-series. So what that means is that you can use your current mobile lenses with the cage if you have the right backplate without having to buy entire new cage. And what I really like is that both handles come with a quick release mechanism for easy shooting in horizontal and vertical orientation. So on SmallRig's cage, I can simply press here, unhook this, and now I can shoot vertically. And same goes with the Neewer cage. So I first have to unlock this and then press the button, then attach it and then lock it. And then over here, unlock it, press this, attach it, lock it in place, and now we have vertical shooting. Now, in both grips, you have Allen keys which attach magnetically and can be used to tighten or adjust the position of the grip. So let's talk about the differences between the two cages, starting with the opening mechanism first. So the Neewer cage has a flap up here to open and close the door, while the SmallRig cage has a convenient button for opening and closing the door. However, I actually prefer the flap on the Neewer cage because with the SmallRig cage, it happened to me a few times that I accidentally pressed the button, which then popped open the door. And in this regard, the Neewer cage door definitely feels more secure. So next up is the backplate system, which is different on both. Now, Neewer uses a quick release mechanism while SmallRig cage has a screw-in backplate. So on SmallRig's cage, if I would want to swap these backplates, I would have to unscrew it first, mount this backplate, and then screw it back on again, which can be a bit of a hassle when run and gun shooting. By the way, they do provide this, and also these tiny screws can be easily lost. So in terms of speed and convenience, the quick release system on Neewer is definitely a winner. And this really just takes a few seconds. I can slide this part off, and then put on the 17 millimeter thread. And voila. Plus, it holds the backplate very securely. So let's talk about lenses. When you compare the lens lineups on both brands, SmallRig doesn't have any mobile lenses available. Now they used to have their 1.55 times anamorphic lens, but it's been discontinued. Now Neewer, on the other hand, offers a variety of quality lenses, and I've tested some of them and they turned out really great. Now, just a heads up, if you own the 1.55 times anamorphic lens by SmallRig, it is unfortunately not compatible with the M-mount adapter ring. So when I screw this one on, you'll see that it is very loose. Now you could fix this by adding a little bit of gaff tape, or you will have to get the anamorphic lens from a different brand. For example, Neewer also sells the 1.55 times anamorphic lens that comes with a 17mm thread. Now regarding the filter system, I've got to hand it to Neewer as well. Now the Neewer cage also comes with this 67mm filter adapter, whereas SmallRig uses a magnetic filter adapter ring, which is compatible with the M lens mount. The problem is that this thing gets loose over time, so I had to fix that with a little bit of gaff tape here. Now, SmallRig's filter adapter ring is magnetic, so they only work with SmallRig's magnetic filter system. Now, I do really like their magnetic filter system because it's super convenient to just snap on the filter, and you can also stack them. But I did notice a couple of issues. It's pretty easy to knock off the VND filter when they're stacked. So just with a finger, it falls off. I also noticed some light leaks when stacking the filters because there is a little bit of a gap in between. But when you just use the VND filter, it actually locks into place with the filter adapter ring, leaving no gaps. On the other hand, the Neewer filter system screws in and covers the lens fully, so there are no gaps for light to leak through. Now, Neewer does also have stackable filters available, but I haven't tested them out yet. What's really great is that I can use the same filters I already have for my Sony a7S III. Now, this is an 82mm filter thread, and because this is a 67mm thread, I will have to use step-up rings to make it fit. So I can simply just screw this one on, attach my 82mm freewell filter. Ooh, and this is pretty awesome. And freewell's filters are also magnetic, so I also have kind of a magnetic filter system going on here. So with that said, it would be great if SmallRig would just create a backplate that supports a 67mm thread to make it more versatile. Now, unfortunately, the downside to using the 67mm filter adapter on the Neewer cage is that I can't attach my MagSafe power bank to the back. It won't fit. I can also show it to you without the filter if I try to attach it. However, with SmallRig's filter system, I can attach the MagSafe to it and it works. Now, I do have two filters attached. I have the Mist and the VND. If I would just use the VND, then that wouldn't work either, as you can see. So let's now look at the grip system on both. Now, SmallRig's grip is a bit larger than the one from Neewer. If you have larger hands, then the one from SmallRig might be more comfortable. Now, I do prefer SmallRig's quick release mechanism more, as it's just one step. I can just press these buttons and attach it, detach it, attach it. Very easy. Now, on your system, you have two steps. So you first have to attach it and then turn this knob. If I want to detach it, release. Now, it's not the end of the world, but it is a bit faster on the SmallRig grip. Now, I definitely like that Neewer included a quick release mechanism this time. It's a huge upgrade from their previous versions where you had to use a hex key. And being able to take it apart just makes it easy to bring along in your backpack too. Now, what's unique about Neewer's grip is that you can actually rotate the grip 360 degrees. And this really comes in handy if you want to switch to a top handle easily. I can unlock this part, mount this on top, secure it, and then just turn this and you have a nice top handle. Now, with SmallRig's grip, you can also attach it as a top handle. That is no problem. However, this part up here is not rotatable. So just to demonstrate, it does take more time, definitely. Okay, let's attach it this way. Okay, All right, so now I got the top handle as well, as you can see. Now on the flip side, I really wish you could lock the rotation on the Neewer grip, because it can be an issue when attaching heavier accessories onto the cage. Now don't get me wrong, for simple setups like adding an LED light and attaching a lens, it is really no big deal. But the cage can tip over if you're using something like a much larger light, such as the M20C by Zhiyun. Like that, whoa, you'll see that it tips over, right? Now, if you're using two handles, it won't tip over as easily, but still. So if you use heavier accessories, it's best to attach them on the grip, because as we know, you can slide this top part off and it reveals a cold shoe mount. So then you would attach the light onto the grip, and this way it will be much more secure. What I really like using is SmallRig's Bluetooth shutter. It's handy for recording without having to touch the screen on your phone, and you can also detach the Bluetooth shutter, which is great for filming yourself from a distance. And the best part is that once you have connected the Bluetooth shutter to your phone, all you need to do is long press on the Bluetooth shutter and it automatically reconnects to your iPhone without having to go to the Bluetooth settings and do it manually. Now, I don't have the Bluetooth shutter on the Neewer grip right now, but they do sell it separately. So lastly, let's talk about the price. The SmallRig cage, co-designed by Brandon Lee for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which includes two handles, a filter adapter ring, and a 5-stop VND filter, is priced at $140. On the other hand, the Neewer cage, which includes a 67mm adapter ring, the M mount, and the 17mm lens backplate, and add both handles, including one with a Bluetooth shutter, the total cost would be $126. Now overall, both the SmallRig and the Neewer cage have their ups and downs. I really like the SmallRig's quick release mechanism. Neewer's backplate system is one of the best ones out there, which makes switching backplates easy and quick. Also, the included 67mm adapter allows others to use their existing filters. Now I want to know from you guys what you think about both of these cages and if you recommend any other ones. It's always great to have options and see what works best for different setups and shooting styles. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this review was helpful. Keep creating and see you in the next one.